Liam Gabriel Toman was 22 years old when he vanished during a ski trip to Mont-Tremblant, Quebec. He lived in Whitby, Ontario, and had recently graduated from Niagara College as an electrical technician. Friends and family described him as social, responsible, and forward-looking. He had plans, a career ahead of him, and close relationships with his parents. There was nothing in his behavior or personal life that suggested he wanted to disappear. In late January, Liam traveled to Mont-Tremblant with two friends for a short winter getaway. The resort was busy, filled with tourists, seasonal workers, and nightlife. The group stayed at La Tour des Voyageurs II, a hotel located close to the main village and several popular bars. The trip began without incident. There were no reports of conflict, strange conversations, or concerning behavior. On the evening of February 1st, around 11 p.m., Liam had dinner with his friends in the ski village. Throughout the evening, he remained in frequent contact with his parents, texting casually and responding normally. This detail would later become important. According to his family, Liam was not someone who suddenly went silent, especially late at night. Just after midnight, Liam and his friends went to Le Petit Caribou, one of the most popular bars at the resort. The bar was crowded, loud, and under constant video surveillance. They stayed there for several hours. Around 2:30 a.m., Liam's friends decided to leave. Liam chose to stay behind. This was not unusual for him. There was no argument, no tension, and no indication that anything was wrong. At approximately 2:45 a.m., a witness inside the bar later told police that Liam approached a group of women. The witness warned him that the women were with partners, but described the interaction as casual and non-confrontational. There was no report of an argument, no raised voices, and no indication of a fight. Shortly after 2 a.m., one of Liam's friends sent him a text message. The message was later described as being sent shortly after 2 a.m., though investigators acknowledged the timing might be inaccurate and could have been closer to 3 a.m. Liam did not respond. His friend assumed Liam was fine and went to sleep. At around 3 a.m., security cameras recorded Liam leaving Le Petit Caribou with two women. Their identities have never been publicly confirmed. Police have not stated whether the women were ever located or questioned in detail. This moment marks the last time Liam is seen leaving a location with other people. Minutes later, another camera captured Liam walking past a physical altercation between two men. Witnesses said Liam made a comment to them, and the men laughed at him because he spoke in English. Liam did not stop, did not engage further, and continued walking. He did not appear shaken or distressed. At 3:10 a.m., Liam was recorded on CCTV again, walking briskly along Chemin Curé des Lauriers in the direction of his hotel. His movement appeared purposeful. He was not running, stumbling, or looking over his shoulder. This detail matters because it contradicts theories that Liam was immediately chased or fleeing danger. At 3:16 a.m., Liam sent a text message that read, "Meet me outside." The message was sent to his father. Investigators believe this was likely a mistake and that Liam intended to send it to one of his friends who had left the bar earlier. This message is one of the last confirmed actions Liam ever made. 4 minutes later, at approximately 3:20 a.m., Liam appeared on another security camera near the hotel. He stopped and spoke briefly with two individuals later identified as seasonal resort workers. Police interviewed both workers separately. Their statements were consistent. They said Liam did not seem distressed, intoxicated, or in trouble. The conversation was short and unremarkable. After speaking with the workers, Liam walked away from the hotel toward the side of the building near Chemin au Pied de la Montagne. There is no security footage of Liam entering the hotel, none. This absence of footage is critical. He never reached his room. Instead, he moved away from it. From this point forward, Liam Toman disappears completely. The next morning, Liam's friends assumed he had spent the night elsewhere, something that occasionally happened during trips. They went skiing. When Liam did not answer his phone, they began calling him repeatedly, once per hour, then twice per hour. After approximately 20 unanswered calls, they realized something was seriously wrong. Around 6 p.m., they contacted Liam's father, Chris Toman. Chris immediately told them to contact police. Law enforcement responded quickly and set up a command post at the resort. Investigators began reviewing security footage from bars, restaurants, hotels, and nearby businesses. The search expanded rapidly. Drones were deployed. Police searched on snowmobiles, four-wheelers, and on horseback. Forested areas surrounding the resort were combed. Nearby mountains, swamps, and a local lake were searched. Divers entered the water. Nothing was found, no clothing, no footprints, no personal belongings. The search continued for 6 consecutive days. According to police, they reviewed hours of surveillance footage in an effort to trace Liam's movements. Despite the scale of the operation, there was no evidence indicating where Liam went after leaving the hotel area. Then, on March 22nd, nearly 7 weeks after Liam vanished, a resort worker found a wallet in a parking lot near the hotel. Inside were Liam's identification and his hotel keycard. The wallet appeared intact and undamaged. This discovery raised immediate questions. According to Liam's family, he was extremely protective of his wallet. He kept it secured and rarely misplaced it. The wallet's condition suggested it had not been exposed to weeks of snow, ice, and foot traffic. This led to speculation that the wallet may have been dropped or placed there long after Liam disappeared. Since the night Liam vanished, his phone has never been used. His bank account has not been accessed. His social media accounts show no activity. There has been no financial movement, no digital trace, and no confirmed sightings. Liam's parents and stepmother have remained heavily involved in the search. They traveled to Mont-Tremblant, handed out flyers, and organized awareness campaigns. They set up a website and continue to urge anyone with information to come forward. They maintain that Liam would never willingly abandon his family or his future. Police have stated that the investigation remains open. No official theory has been confirmed. There is currently a $50,000 reward for information leading to Liam's whereabouts. Somewhere between a crowded bar, a quiet resort road, and a hotel entrance he never reached, something happened to Liam Toman. Despite cameras, witnesses, and an extensive search, the truth of that night remains unknown.